How good is it?
Well, it's my little take on Palm Springs.
That was the inspiration?
It is the inspiration. We took the kids there on a trip. I just love that holiday feel, but the aspects of mid-century modern architecture I think work so well in Australia. The connection between inside and out, the clean lines,
Yes.
and the really bold use of repetitive texture, such as the breeze blocks, stack bond brickwork, and of course cladding. So the combination of those finishes work really well to create that look, and I just think it makes you feel like you're on holidays all the
You're walking
time.
here already, and talk to us about that. I mean, where did that come from?
Well, the inspiration for this was to get some colour on the space. So essentially the house is all white. In Palm Springs, most of the homes are white.
Yes.
But where they really have personalities with the front doors. So there's teal and rock melon, and there's beautiful coral doors and reds and oranges. But we went with the yellow to really make an impact. And I just wanted to play with that colour play. The benefits of here was how to transform what was an ugly red brick house. So it was a big transformation.
You've got the composite materials, you've got masonry, you've got stone, and I see you've got our weather groove in the gable there, James.
You do, mate. You know your products, buddy. I see. You notice it straight away. Look, this actually helped me solve a really big architectural problem. So the forehead, I call it, the gable end of this house originally was sitting forward.
Right.
It was just so heavy in the architecture. I needed to lighten it up in colour, but lighten it up in looks. I pushed the gable end back in and then needed to reclad it, and this was the perfect choice. So I've got the lines on there of the texture, which complements and contrasts all of the texture within the brickwork, and it just adds a really nice holiday feel, but really visually interesting, even though it's a white on white palette. It was so successful here that I think it's perfect when people are renovating houses, especially outside, to be able to cover finishes as an alternative just to flat render.
Sure.
So I've used it all the way around this new entry foyer, and I've used it where I've changed window openings, and I've used it really successfully in other parts of the house.
The versatility of our product is how you've used this. I can't wait to see what's happening inside.
Come in, mate. Of course, Jason, a big part of Palm Springs is entertaining outside. So this is our fresco, very Palm Springs inspired, mate. You can see our cladding everywhere.
Integrated with the brickwork and the stone.
Well, it was really important here because you can see the brickwork. This is the original brickwork of the house. So it was a really textured brick. In red, it looked ugly. In white, it actually came together quite nicely. I decided to leave the windowsill because in renovation, sometimes it's nice to show the story of what happened.
Yes.
But there was a lot going on here. We've transformed this space. There was a hole in the wall for an air conditioning unit. Just around the corner, I had a door and a window to the laundry. That's now an ensuite.
Right.
There was the electrical box, which we moved and we put solar on. I had to cover all those holes. How was I going to do it? I could render it, and then I'd lose the texture that's so significant in that Palm Springs style. So adding your cladding let me unify the space. It's texture on texture.
Weather gear 150 smooth primes, and the aluminium accessories on the corners.
So we have the pizza oven and the barbecue, the sink behind. This is a space that we want people to enjoy. I don't want to be a slave to, don't touch this and be careful.
Sure.
Your product, as you would know, but I'm using it firsthand, is so hard and durable, especially with the metal corner now. So everyone walking past, we haven't even had to touch that up with any paint. And it's been now over a year that the house was finished. So it gives me all of that beautiful texture. And I also was able to use it because it's so versatile. I wanted to have the appearance of joinery here, but I didn't need extra storage. Our kitchen's just there. Sure. But I needed the bench space because we're making pizzas and we're cooking. Yes. So by being able to use the cladding on the front walls here, I put the stone on top. It's repeated the same finish. The same as it would be with joinery, but I didn't A, have to pay for the cost of joinery because I didn't need it, and B, this just goes straight over the top. So it gave me that beautiful repetition of finish. It looks so good, eh?
Yeah, sustainability is one of our key credentials with our products and the features and benefits. Is that front of mind for yourself when you're selecting building materials?
I think now more than ever. I've been associated with Planet Arc for many years, but the building industry, both for renovate or rebuild, is so high in the numbers of waste. We have a lot of materials coming to site. Yes. During renovation particularly, a lot of materials leave site. What happens to them? So we were able to recycle all the metal, the old windows, and even the door hinges inside the house. We had all that picked up, taken away. We've tried to do as much as we can, but we also need to know what the products are that we're adding to our home, where they're made from, and what happens to them at the end of life.
Yes.
So I've been to your factory. I know the product is 97% wood pulp and wax. That's it. So there's no glues, there's no nasties. It's hard wearing. It's great for the Australian outdoors. It's outside,
Yes.
so it's such a hard wearing product. And it already came pre-primed, so it was really easy for me to put colour on there and instantly transform the space.
And the key credential, now it's a DIY product as well as a building product, so you can use it yourself, cut and feel you're happy with using it.
Well, another way we recycled, now that you mention that, is even when you're building, we ended up with some offcuts.
Yes.
So actually the painters who came on site, there was a young girl who was kicking the boys' bums. She was a very good painter. And she was decking out a little space at the back of her own home.
Yeah.
So she took some of the offcuts to use there.
Beautiful.
So because it was able to, it's timber, like it's able to be used. And we've got some offcuts from the granny flat now that we're actually going to do the same and use it for some garden beds externally.
Yes.
So even the product can be reused and reimagined.
It's a life cycle analysis, and the life cycle of the product can be reused in the offcuts, which is fantastic.
Well, at the end of the life, I don't want to think about this house going anywhere because I love it, but houses have a timeline.
Yes.
So if this home gets pulled down later in life, this product can be taken off the wall and it can actually go through the wood chipper and go straight as mulch onto someone's garden beds. I think that is outstanding, and it's one of the features that I really love. I came across your product professionally because although I renovate and rebuild myself, I'm a professional interior designer. So some of my builders were already using WeatherTex and loved the product. So I already had faith because I knew they used it commercially, and now I use it myself. And yes, I've had it installed professionally, and I've also had a go at doing it from the DIY side. So I think it's very adaptable for people to be able to use in their home and an instant way to add texture and help renovate or transform their spaces.
I love the way the versatility of our product and how you've displayed it internally, externally, and brought it in with other building materials. It looks fantastic.
Look, it's about having a space that you want to live in. We've got a holiday vibe here. It's not a massive house. It's only a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms, you know. But for us, it feels good. And the minute I arrive here, it feels like a holiday vibe. And I think people can achieve that in their home, no matter where they live around the country. It's so important that you want to come home to a space that talks about who you are.
Yes.
And adding texture is such a great way to enhance the space.
The vibe, I can feel the vibe of the place. It's that relaxed feel and the way you've created it, the textures, the tones. You know what? I think it's time for a beer, James.
I think it is, mate.